It's 2018 and we want to see some fights. My name is Eddie Law and these are our top 10 fights that fans want to see in 2018. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video. Also, leave a fight we may have missed out in the comment section below. Now let's get after it. Number 10.
Chris Cyborg against anybody.
Chris Cyborg has shown that she is clearly the most destructive and dominant force in women's MMA today. It took a while, but she finally made it to the UFC and is riding a 4-fight win streak with wins over Leslie Smith, Lena Landsberg, Tanya Evinger, and Holly Holm. With no real women's featherweight division to work with, opponents have been very difficult to find for Cyborg. Many have called for Miesha Tate to come out of retirement for that fight. Now that's kind of out of the question that she's pregnant, so yeah, you can forget about that one. Others have said that this would be the time to see Ronda Rousey back in the cage, which I can't even begin to understand. I mean, why would you want to see that mauling? Oh yeah. Many want to see a super fight of sorts with champion Amanda Nunes. In fact, she called for that fight, which Cyborg has already said she'd rather not do. But the one fighter that people have been asking the most about, Megan Anderson. Why hasn't it been scheduled yet? Because that's just weird to me. But there are rumors of personal issues with Anderson that have stopped her from even fighting in the UFC yet, much less against Cyborg, so we wait. So come on, please, somebody fight this woman!
Number 9.
Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega. UFC featherweight champion Max Holloway defended his belt once against the guy he beat to win it in the first place, Jose Aldo. Frankie Edgar was supposed to be the guy at UFC 218, but he dropped out due to injury, and thus Aldo jumped at the chance to win his belt back, which of course didn't happen. Cub Swanson's tied up, Josh Emmett has now gotten to the top 5, and Ricardo Lamas ate a nasty left hook from Emmett to lose his shot at the title for now. In comes the undefeated Brian Ortega. All of Ortega's fights in the UFC have been finishes, even in fights where it seems like he's getting beat. His ground game is incredible with 7 submission victories on his record, yet has shown that his striking is also to be feared, as he recently showed against Clay Guida. Now he comes with the king of the featherweights in Holloway, a man who is seemingly able to adjust to any fighter with any style. He doesn't hide from any challengers and would welcome a fresh face in front of him in the octagon.
Number 8.
Jon Jones versus Brock Lesnar. After his knockout win over Daniel Cormier at UFC 214, which was of course overturned due to Jones testing hot for steroids, Jones called out Brock Lesnar.
Jon Jones with
Brock Lesnar. If you want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by a guy who weighs 40 pounds less than you, meet me in the octagon.
Why the hell not? Jon Jones is arguably the greatest talent that MMA has ever seen, not named Demetrius Johnson. And we can argue about that on Twitter later on. And would be the GOAT if not for his constant suspensions. Seriously, the one guy who can stop Jon Jones is Jon Jones. Or is it Brock Lesnar? Like Jones, Lesnar has been suspended by USADA for popping hot for roids. So why not bring both men into the cage when they are eligible to fight, hopefully sooner than later. Lesnar is still a huge draw for the UFC, and the prospect of a fight versus Jones could do insane pay-per-view numbers. You know Dana White's smiling at that.
Number 7.
Daniel Cormier versus Alexander Gustafsson, Part 2. DC vs. Gus 1 was back at UFC 192 when Cormier and Gustafsson had one of the closest fights in light heavyweight history. The split decision was so close after 5 rounds of grinding battle. Still, the judges felt that DC had came out on top and he retained his title. Many fans, however, felt that Gustafsson had done enough to become the new champion. Should Cormier get past no time, why not run this one back? Gus is 2-0 since that bout, including a 5th round knockout of Glover Teixeira. 205 is thin when it comes to challengers, and DC's time in MMA is short, so this fight will be a good one for both fighters.
Number 6.
Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Finally have a women's flyweight division in the UFC, and we can now get those matches we've been wanting to see between the bantamweights and the strawweights. In comes one fight that fans have been hoping to see since these ladies entered the UFC. Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Valentina Shevchenko. 2 Muay Thai specialists in the octagon will make for an insane fight, right? Best part? They fought before in Muay Thai. Shevchenko is 3-0 against Joanna in Muay Thai, and the chance of redemption is huge, even if it's MMA and not Muay Thai. Has to be very tempting for the former strawweight champion. Imagine 2 dominant strikers in the cage with a history fighting for, hell, maybe the chance to fight for the belt.
Number 5.
Darren Till versus Wonder Boy or Jorge Masvidal. The hottest name at 170 pounds is straight out of Liverpool and arguably said to be the breakout fighter of the year in 2018. Darren Till is set to make a big run at the welterweight title, and a fight against one of these two would be a huge first step toward that end. Stephen Thompson has fought Tyron Woodley for the welterweight strap twice and came up short both times. First fight, exciting. Second fight, not so much. That puts him on a short list of guys who won't get a title shot anytime soon, for as long as Woodley holds the title. However, a win over one of the hottest names at 170 pounds could get him a step back into the octagon for the championship. There's more to gain for Till than there is for Wonderboy in this one. If Till beats Thompson, that's a big name on his resume, and it would vault Till to the front of the line of contenders at welterweight. The other man who can help him get there, Jorge Masvidal. Who will make a bigger impression than to win a blood and guts brawl with one of the best and toughest all-around fighters in MMA. Darren Till's on his way to the top. Let's get him a couple of fun fights on his way there.
Number 4.
Francis Ngannou versus Junior Dos Santos. Now, this one to me is kind of morbid. To put anyone in the cage with Francis Ngannou is about as cruel and unusual as it gets. But, man, do we love some crazy KO highlights out of it. Ngannou may be the best heavyweight prospect we've had in years, and certainly in the category of being a Mike Tyson-esque type of fighter. Put him in the cage with a guy like JDS, and we've got a recipe for war. Who has endured more punishing fights than Junior Dos Santos? Sure, it's not like we want to see him get destroyed again, but his Rocky walkout music would finally fit big time for this one. It could be like the second fight in Rocky 3 when Rocky gets his clipper laying out and then beats him. Or it could be like the first fight in Rocky 3 when Lang goes ham on Rocky and sends him home with the L. Regardless, this fight would be insane.
Number 3.
Demetrius Johnson versus TJ Dillashaw. What is the hardcore MMA fan's biggest gripe? Mighty Mouse gets no respect. How do you not consider the man who can't be beaten as the greatest fighter on the planet? Demetrius Johnson will be in the argument of the GOATs of combat sports when it's all said and done. Yet, he gets no respect from the casual fans and really no respect from his promoter. It's a really weird situation. One of the GOATs isn't a draw? Come on now. Well, in comes TJ Dillashaw. Dillashaw is a 2-time bantamweight champion. He's taken out 2 of the best that we've ever seen at 135 pounds. First, he took out Ryan Barão twice. And then he finished Cody Garbrandt after a long and heated build-up to their title fight at UFC 217. Dillashaw has been asking for the fight with DJ, and DJ didn't turn it down, but he wants to get paid. Look, let's get these men paid. Let's get this fight already. Imagine real-life Dragon Ball Z in a cage. Yes.
Number 2.
Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz, Part 3.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
One of the most iconic rivalries in UFC history, and it all came about because one dude bruised his foot. Conor McGregor was supposed to fight Rafael Dos Anjos for the lightweight strap at UFC 196. Dos Nachos injured his foot, and in comes Nate Diaz on less than 2 weeks' notice. And then he taps McGregor and delivers the most iconic Diaz line ever. Then at UFC 202, McGregor comes in with a much better game plan, outpoints Diaz, and takes a majority decision victory. Let's complete the trilogy. We don't do ties in America. This isn't soccer. One more fight for all the bragging rights. Hell, even for a strap. UFC doesn't care about fights making sense anymore anyway. It's all about that money. Let's make money fight number 3.
Hey, you know guys, this is true. This is not trash talking. Hey guys, Irish only 6 million. Russian 150 million. I wanna fight for your chicken.
Number 1.
Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Just a month ago, this fight wouldn't even have made the list. Then this happened.
In this position, he just has so much power in both hands from the top position. There's very few fighters on the roster that has that type of ground and pound that can really finish an opponent. He gave zero space to Edson Barbosa. Every opportunity he had, he closed it.
So come on, let's set this one up already. McGregor is one of the icons of the sport, and Khabib is an undefeated force that could be on that level if he could beat McGregor. Oh, and he wrestled the bear growing up. Just thought I'd throw that out there. McGregor's elite striking versus Khabib's elite grappling. What will win? Let's find out. That's it for this list. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on everything. Subscribe on iTunes, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Motherfuckers love it to be a soldier. Must maintain composure.